The rest of the weekend crawls by. Natsuki booked a meeting for Monday afternoon. We made cupcakes. We put together a preliminary plan to show the interviewer we had some idea of how to run a business. But as slow as Sunday was, today's been even worse. Waiting to hear if Natsuki was approved for the grant was agonizing. But finally, halfway through my last class, she messaged me that she got it. I wish I could be there with her, but she insisted I go to school. Rationally, I know she's right, but it still bugs me not to be there for such a huge moment. But even waiting for Natsuki's text isn't the most painful part of the day. No, the worst part is knowing that we have to tell the club Natsuki's leaving. After a meeting, Natsuki went straight home to get the cupcakes and run them over. So, here I am, waiting for my girlfriend to arrive for her last ever club meeting. They should meet outside more frequently. Hey, Ben. Hey. You ready to do this? Not really. Are you? Not even close. Alright, then let's go. We walk into the clubroom together, Natsuki carefully carrying the tray of cupcakes. These ones are special, even for Natsuki. Each of them is decorated to represent one of the members of the literature club. Except for 5 in the very middle, decorated with a simple red heart and the words thank you. So we enter Sayori gasps and springs to her feet. Cupcakes! I mean Natsuki! Yeah, I come bearing gifts. Come and get them! Sayori predictably is first. Oh, red bow! Is this one for me? All yours. Sayori ups away happily, already devouring her cupcake. Then I take it. The purple one with the flower is mine. You got it! Wow, this looks even better than usual. What's the occasion? Natsuki and I shift uncomfortably. We really never figured out a good way to bring this up. Yeah, about that. I wanted to wait to say this, but I guess there's not really any point. Ben and I have an announcement. What was my first instinct? Like, it might sound like they're pregnant. They're both pregnant. Oh, jeez. The rest of the club gathers around us as Natsuki sets down her plate. What is it? Yuri takes a deep breath. Yeah, so the thing is, things have gotten kind of complicated for me, for both of us, recently. So over the weekend, Ben and I talked, and we decided the best thing to do is for me to drop out of school. And the club, I guess. There's this grant for new business owners to help them get off the ground, and I applied for it, and they said yes. So starting whenever we get it up and running, I'm gonna own my own bakery. I really enjoyed being part of the literature club with all of you. Seriously, you have no idea how hard this is for me, or how much you guys mean to me. But this is going to be our last meeting together. I really hope you can support me with this. For a moment, nobody moves. Then Sayori runs up and locks Natsuki in a tight hug. Of course we'll support you! I'm so proud of you, Natsuki! I will miss you so much, but I'm gonna come by and buy your cupcakes every day! Sayori! Can't breathe! Sorry, I got carried away. But of course we'll all support you. Sayori's right. Of course we'll all miss you. But we all want the best for you. If this is the path you feel you need to take, then you have our blessing and our support. And of course this isn't really goodbye. I'm sure starting a business will take up much of your time. Hope you'll take some portion of what's left to stay in touch with us. And if you don't, well, we'll simply have to visit your bakery ourselves. Thanks, guys. I was really worried you'd be upset with me. Like, I thought Monica was gonna yell at me or something. Monica? Monica's standing off to one side, looking anxious. Are you sure about this, Natsuki? This is a big decision. Well, you could be a little more supportive than that. It's just, education's really important, and it opens up a lot of doors for you in the future. I don't want you to regret not graduating when you had the chance. Monica, I'm sure Natsuki has made this decision lightly. If that's the decision she's made, then we should support her. I'm sorry, I just don't see why she can't wait a few months until she graduates. At least that way, if things don't work out, she has a backup plan. There may be factors in play you're unaware of. No, it's fine, Yuri. She's right. If you don't go to school and get a degree, you're wasting your life. Odds are I'll fail anyway, right? So I'm such a screw-up for not living out your dream, Monica. That's not what I'm saying at all. Whatever. I've made my announcement, and you've all made your feelings pretty clear. Since I'm not actually part of the club anymore, I'll get out of your way so Monica can get you guys back on track. Enjoy the cupcakes. Wait! Natsuki. Not really sure what to do. I follow Natsuki out of the club. Natsuki doesn't acknowledge me for several steps. Eventually she speaks. Screw her! I don't need her approval. What does she know anyway? All she's ever been is a control freak and know-it-all. Natsuki, wait! Zero comes running down the hall after us. Please don't leave like this, Natsuki. Monica didn't mean it like that. Just wants what's best for you. And Monica always knows what's best, right? Sorry. That wasn't fair. But I'm not going back. If I can't count on her to have my back after all this time just because I do something different from her, then who needs her? Natsuki. Sorry. Natsuki turns away, leaving Sayori standing in the hall, tears running down her face. Torn between wanting to support Natsuki and comfort Sayori, I hesitate. Eventually, though, I follow Natsuki out of the school and back home. It probably was like phrased like the way Natsuki took it. Oh, Act 2, bake. The way it probably felt to Natsuki was like, yeah, like what she basically said, like chances are she'll fail, like Natsuki will fail, and therefore she needs that degree, right? Like that's what Monica was implying. And I don't think that's what Monica was implying. It can just easily be taken this way. It's just that Monica, as we also see in Act 3, puts like a lot of value on education and the various ways you can get education, and therefore make the decision that's right for you. And unaware that they might need money, it might seem weird to her, like, why not graduate? Because like in her, she isn't aware of like the money struggle, and so in her eyes, it's genuinely just like, you can graduate. Why won't you graduate? And then start up the bakery, not because it's like, hey, you probably there's great potential you'll fail, but rather just because if you can, why not just graduate and then start up the bakery? You're given the opportunity to have education, so why not finish that education now where it's so close? In actuality, there is like I'm pretty sure a lot of times where money is the reason why some people like struggle with their education or drop out early. Where like part-time jobs and everything is like very overwhelming and stuff as well, just for those who do still go through with everything. Which someone like Monica, who also appears to like also have like a lot of money, given also like her images and everything, that she has like no idea that this could be like a problem for some people. Or like she isn't immediately putting into consideration that it could be happening to someone like close to her. So I really don't think it was like intended to be that way, but I can also clearly see why it would be taken this way. From someone who's like also like struggling with like quite a few insecurities. Anyway, we're in Act 2 and we gotta bake. So, are you ready? Natsuki's fingers hover over the laptop as she looks to me for approval. Hey, it's your baby. If you're ready, I'm ready. Right. Natsuki takes a breath, then turns back to the laptop. Okay, here goes nothing. Natsuki presses a button and the computer flashes in response. After a moment, the screen shows a bright pink page covered in pictures advertising her upcoming bakery. Have they already like a place where it can be? There it is. There it is! website! A pretty good looking website too. Look! This is a little description of the business. And this is where they'll go to make an order. Oh, this is so cool! I put an arm around Natsuki. It's awesome. It's been a full week since Natsuki left the literature club. In that time, she hasn't taken a single break. After her time has been taken up with research, trying to find the location and building her website. My kitchen really isn't equipped for being used as a bakery, but Natsuki wants to get word out of mouth going as quickly as possible. So, but where will we bake? We did see in the title screen that there appears to be a place where there are going to be baking possibilities. That sounds weird, where there's a little bakery. To that end, she's made a website for her business that offers a limited selection of the items Natsuki is most proud of. Hope is that when she finally opens her dedicated bakery, she'll already have a small base of customers ready to buy from her. Natsuki refreshes the page, then refreshes it again. Natsuki? Yeah? I think it's a bit too early to be expecting any orders. Like, people still need to find this random webpage for the bakery, right? And especially if they don't know the place yet. Like, a lot of websites I find when I look up the place. And since it's new, they first need to find the... Maybe, like, when it's advertised for, like, places, in this case, bakeries near you or something. But if you're just trying to look around, but most of the times you're not going to find it, like, immediately a bakery like that. I know that! I just want to make sure everything was working. Besides, it's not like there's any harm checking. I can't help but smile. It's nice seeing Natsuki's optimistic. Considering her background, a lot of people might have given up entirely. But here she is, starting her own business at 18. Meanwhile, I still have no idea what I'm going to do after high school. You both can become a baker family! I really should think more seriously about that. It might be necessary to consider all the other options as well. What am I even good at? As I begin to ponder my options, there's a knock at the front door. I'll get it. You keep ogling your website. I'm not ogling it! Getting up, I walk over to the door and open it. Yuri stands on my front porch, politely waiting for me to open the door. Oh, hey, Yuri. What can I do for you? Good afternoon, Ben. Is Natsuki in? Yeah, come on inside. Yuri follows me inside, gently closing the door behind her. Hey, Nat, you've got company. Nat clicks over from her laptop and smiles. Yuri! Hello, Natsuki. It's good to see you again. What are you doing here? You're not usually the type to drop by unannounced. I should have called first. Probably incredibly busy. I'll just come by some other time. Ha! Well, it's good to know you haven't changed, at least. No, it's fine. I just wrapped something up anyway. I probably deserve a break. Well, okay. I just came by to visit for a while. We haven't spoken since. You know. Natsuki shifts awkwardly. Yeah. And I guess we haven't really hung out for a while even before that, huh? Sorry about that. Yuri shakes her head. It's perfectly normal. People often withdraw early in relationships. After all, one only has so much time to socialize with others. When a new social obligation appears, such as a budding relationship, time spent on it must naturally come from elsewhere. And I also understand that this is a particularly complicated situation. Yuri clearly feels unsure exactly how to refer to our arrangement. It tends to really be like that. At first, it's kind of like they get together and then they don't really have like a balance yet. They don't really know how to balance like their friendships and with their relationships, like romantic relationship, depending on, because they don't know yet how like much time the partner wants and how much time would be necessary for those friends to really uphold those friendships. And so they might end up prioritizing, especially since it's like new, like Yuri said, the romantic relationship at first before they find like a rhythm that fits for them, a balance between those. I can't really blame her. It's certainly not how I expected my senior year to go. Yeah, because it's kind of hard to keep things from changing when you're your life. Yuri nods sympathetically. Speaking of which, How are things going here? Are you doing alright? There's a brief pause before Natsuki answers. Yeah, things are good. I'm getting a lot better, actually. It's amazing what just a few months in a new environment can do for you. But things are okay with him? I suddenly feel awkward, like I shouldn't be here. Maybe I should excuse myself. Yeah, he's fine. Better than fine, actually. I'm really happy here. Natsuki looks straight at me as she answers. I can't help but smile hearing her say that. Then she turns back to Yuri. It's just... I wish things could have gone differently. For my dad, I mean. I wish things didn't have to end like that. Sneaking out, not even saying goodbye. So, that's it? He's out of your life forever? Looks that way. I'm sorry. He just isn't looking for her word. I know that must have been difficult. Actually, it wasn't. I think that's the worst part of it all. After all we've been through, what happened with Mom, all the good times we had before everything went wrong. Natsuki takes a breath, steadying herself. I really thought I loved him. In spite of everything, I thought I still saw him as Papa. But I don't. I don't feel anything. I guess I gave up on him a long time ago without even realizing it. For no moment, nobody speaks. Then Natsuki straightens. Sorry. Got kind of dark there, huh? Seriously, things are great here. That's all over. There's no point in looking back, right? Well, if that's how you feel, I won't argue with you. I'm just glad to hear you're doing well. Oh! Almost forgot! Check this out, Yuri! Natsuki gets up, grabbing her laptop. Then she dashes over to Yuri, turning the screen to face her. I've got a website now! Sweet Beginnings is officially open for business. Sweet Beginnings is now the title. May Flowers or Sweet Beginnings. It's opening in May, and it's the flowers of May. It's the fruit that May brings. With a slightly limited menu, of course. This is beautiful, Natsuki. Did you design it all yourself? Pretty much. I just used one of those creative website things. It's not like I coded it from scratch or anything. Come on, let me show you around. Natsuki sits Yuri down on the couch and starts going through her website. Figuring they'd want some time to do whatever they usually do, I chose to go for a walk. After wandering aimlessly for a while, I found myself back at the park where I met Yuri. Haven't been here for a long while time. Well, not for fun at least. It brings back a lot of memories. Zero and I used to come here all the time to play when the weather was nice. Or rather, I'd come here and she'd follow along. I sigh, frustrated. Even after all this time, I don't really get Sayori. When she told me about her condition, I tried doing some research on depression. But the information I found wasn't really clear, and a lot of it was contradictory. In the end, I left with more questions than answers. The problem is that depression also is different for every person. And there are different types of depression as well. And due to that, it's pretty difficult to figure out what information is really suitable, in the situation you have with that person. And frankly, the best way to figure it out, it would really just be to talk about it, very open, very clear. For example, did Sari actually like coming here all those years ago? Or did she just come along because that's what she thought I wanted? From the few conversations we've had about things like this, I don't even think Sayori herself knows. Out of habit, I pick up a plastic bottle at the side of the path. It's not fair. Sayori's a good person. It's not right that she has to deal with this. So is Natsuki. Why do they have to have such hard lives while I practically have everything handed to me on a platter? It's not like my family's rich or anything, but we could at least keep food on the table. Even if I've been sad sometimes, it doesn't seem anything like what Sayori has to go through. Meanwhile, I just coast through my life, barely paying any attention to anything but manga and anime. More frustrated than ever, I crumble up the bottle and toss it in the garbage. As I turn back to the path, I see Sayori sitting on a bench ahead of me. She's just staring to the distance again, apparently oblivious to my presence. I head over and sit down next to her. Oh, hey Ben! I didn't see you coming! Spaced out again, huh? Yeah, it did look like something was on her mind, but I mean, that makes sense. Since since both Monica and Natsuki are friends. Like, Monica, it seems that, like, the side story universe is still, like, canon, right? And due to that, it's also possibly, like, in this universe, the side story universe is part of it. The events of the side stories. And so, Monica's the first person she confided in, most likely, if this is still also, like, part of it. And it was, like, a big help for her. Monica was a big help for her. And so that, but like, of course, Natsuki has every right to like want to be supported, and it makes sense that she didn't feel all that supported in that moment. And Sayori might also blame herself for phrasing it that way, because Monica just wants what's best for you. That's not exactly what was happening, it's just Monica lacks the context that was important for the situation. Because generally speaking, if you are not in a situation where you like desperately need to start that business, and you aren't like doing bad at school exactly either, then it would make sense to graduate and then start up the business. But like there's this factor of the money, and that's simply what Monica was missing. It's not exactly that she wanted the best for Natsuki, it feels more of a thing of like Monica just doesn't know why exactly this is happening. For someone like her, this is like also an important factor. At least from what I can gather from Monica's character, it would be an important factor for her, especially since it means like the club's like one member less, and the club's so important to her still. And so it is like, if it's not necessary, why does it have to end like this? Because she isn't aware that there is like some level of necessity to it. Sayori chuckles nervously. I guess a little. I was a little spaced out. So, what brings you here? I don't usually see you here. Natsuki and Yuri are over. I figured I'd make myself scarce so they could have their girl time or whatever. Oh, that's good. I'm glad they're still friends. Well, of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? Sayori's eyes flicked to the ground. Well, the way Natsuki left the club and everything. Ah, so that's what's bothering you. I never said anything was bothering me! You didn't have to. Come on, Sayori. I might not be the most observant guy in the world, but I'm trying. I like to think I've learned one or two things in the past few months. You don't have to, you know? Sayori's voice is little more than a whisper. I know. I could go on being the same dense guy I've always been, if I wanted. But that's not what I want. When Sayori doesn't respond, I try a little harder. Come on, talk to me. Whatever it is, I want to hear about it. Finally, Sayori turns back towards me. It's Monica. She's taking it really hard. Natsuki leaving and everything. I nod. That much I already knew. Monica's barely said a word in our club meeting since. She sits at the front desk with her head in her hands, not acknowledging us at all. Have you tried talking to her? Yeah. She won't even answer my texts. I don't know what to do, Ben. I'm worried about her. And I'm worried about what will happen to the club if something doesn't change. Instinctively, I moved to give Sayori a hug. Just before actually reaching out for her, though, I stopped myself. It'll be okay. Whatever happens, we'll all still be friends, I promise. Me and you, Yuri and Natsuki, even Monica. I know we all care about each other. And we can't drift apart unless we all let it happen, right? I guess not. And as for Monica, she perhaps just needs a little more time. Keep doing your best, Sayori. I'm sure you'll get through to her. Sayori smiles faintly. Thanks, Ben. You're a really good friend. I'm glad I have you around. Me too. Just as I'm about to get up and say goodbye, a thought crosses my mind. Oh, before I go. When I first sat down, you said something about not usually seeing me around here that often. Do you usually visit the park a lot? Uh-huh. I like coming here to relax. It just feels nice. Sorry, I don't really know how to explain it. I smiled Sayori's explanation. That's all right. I was just curious anyway. Yeah, she's It's nice. I think Sayori's very in character with that as well. Like in right now with like her not really knowing why she feels a certain way. Like she's definitely struggling with like her self-awareness of like her emotions, why, what exact emotions she's experiencing and why she's experiencing them. She shows signs of improvement in the side stories. She's not good at all in the main game, but that has its reasons. Like she's showing improvement, but it's going to take a bit of a while. Like I'm not really good at it yet. By now, I'm able to understand like my budgies are out. My emotions, such as when I'm happy, when I'm sad. And no, wait, no, that's wrong. I'm able to understand my emotions as in if this is sadness or if it's grief, like deeper. Is it like beyond sadness? Is it like grief or is it like some type of feeling of loneliness, dejected, feeling rejected? I'm starting to get better at that, definitely. But when it comes to why I feel this way, it really depends. I think I'm struggling much more with that still. Sometimes I just feel it because I feel it. See you tomorrow, okay? Bye! Did I read that she was just curious? That we were just curious? Or just curious anyway. I really want to stop chiming in during scenes. Because, like... it's important to, like, let scenes play out. But especially on days like this, it just feels like I'm really talkative right now. As I enter my front door, I'm greeted by an ear-shattering screech. What?! Oh, this game sucks! I turn to find Natsuki and Yuri sitting on the couch with a wooden board between them. Yuri's collecting a handful of white beads from the board and placing them to one side. Go is one of the most popular games in the world and has been played continuously for millennia. It has seen the rise and fall of countless other games and will doubtless survive for centuries more. You shouldn't be such a poor loser, Natsuki. You're calling me a poor loser? I'm not the one who only brings over games she knows she can win. Besides, do I need to mention what happened last time we played Mario Party? Do not bring that up again. I don't know how you rigged that game, but when I find out... Aha! See, the moment we find a game I'm skilled at, you will lose your mind. Landing on an arbitrary star space isn't a skill. Oh yeah? Then why doesn't it ever happen to you? Because the game... Ugh! Natsuki abruptly turns her attention to me. How do you deal with her, Ben? I shrug. Well, for starters, I don't ever play Mario Party with her. That makes things a lot easier. You're clearly wiser than I am. Finally, Natsuki faces me as well. I missed you too, by the way. You know I missed you. What? I have to say it every time. Pretty much, yeah. Anyway, where are we going for dinner? What are we doing for dinner? Pulling up my phone, I check the time. Huh. Yeah, I guess it's about time we make a decision. I don't know, I'm feeling kind of worn out. How's pizza sound? Sounds great to me! You sticking around, Yuri? I should. I overstayed my welcome as it is. Come on, stay for dinner. You might as well. You're paying for it after all. I suppose that is technically true. Well, we'll let you pick the movie. Yuri smiles and nods. Alright. I know just what to choose to. I'm pleasantly surprised by Yuri's choice of movie. It's not that I thought she'd pick a bad movie per se, but I was definitely expecting something pretty dark. Or, at the very least, some inscrutable foreign film with subtitles or something. Instead, she chose a very sweet romance movie. Granted, it isn't as shallow as your typical rom-com, but it's definitely not what I expected from Yuri. Although, we are only 20 minutes in. I guess there's still plenty of time for it to take a turn I'm not expecting. When the pizza arrives, I pay for it and bring it in. Alright, dig in! Natsuki sits beside me on the couch, leaning against my shoulder as she eats her pizza. Meanwhile, Yuri kneels on the floor in the middle of the room. You know, I don't often get to enjoy pizza. Usually my family has healthy meals. Both of my parents are very good cooks, actually, so I don't mind. But it does feel nice to cheat once in a while. Yeah, you're a real rebel, Yuri! We better watch out, or you'll be a bad influence on us! Actually, you are. boss who tempted me into having pizza. So, if anything, you're a bad influence on me. Yeah, that definitely sounds better. I don't know. Didn't you say something about Yuri bringing wine to the club one day? I think that outranks pizza in the teenage rebellion department. Natsuki frowns to herself. Oh yeah, you're right. But Monica made her put it away before anyone tried any. She didn't really do anything influencing. But isn't it the thought that counts? That's for gifts, Tommy! But the wine was a sort of gift. I brought it for everyone to enjoy and didn't ask for any payment. That makes it a gift. Natsuki rolls her eyes dramatically. That's true. Okay, fine! You get half points for the wine. I think half points for wine still outweighs full points for pizza. Alright, you know what? We'll settle things. Natsuki reaches for the remote and pauses the movie. Then she grabs a napkin and a pen and draws a chart with 4 columns. Okay, so Yuri wanted us to drink wine. Let's say that's 10 points. She brought it to school though. Isn't that like extra bad? Fine, plus 2 points for bringing it to school. But it's minus 5 points for nobody actually drinking any. I'm confused. How are we measuring these points? I shrug. You're just standard acting out points, I guess. Just your standard acting out points, I guess. Drinking is 10, I guess, so we'll scale everything from there. Okay, then it's settled. I'm officially the worst influence because of the pizza, cupcakes, and dropping out of school. Yuri, you would be the first between the knives and the wine, but you haven't actually influenced anyone. Plus, you're always getting everyone to read these huge books and complicated poems, so you lost points there. Why is that a good influence? It's literally just an influence. Yuri nods solemnly. That's fair. That is a Yuri, just because she always sleeps in and makes us late for school whenever we have a sleepover. Now see Monica's in last place because she's physically incapable of acting out. But of course, the real worst influence in the club is Ben. What? How do you figure that? Isn't it obvious? You talked Natsuki to running away from home and moving in with her boyfriend. That wasn't a bad influence. I'm just trying to keep her safe. It's like there was anywhere else for her to go. Sorry, no dice. Moving in with some loser before you're even out of high school blows everything else out of the water. And since you were the only one who talked me into it, you're officially the worst influence in the club. This doesn't seem fair. Numbers don't lie. You're just lucky I have a thing for bad boys. Natsuki couples up to me again, and I put an arm around her. Well, I guess in that case. Are we ready to finish the movie? Yep! When the movie's over, Yuri stretches and gets up. This has been a lovely visit, but I think it's time I headed home. Thank you both for having me up. Thanks for dropping by! I've been working so hard lately, I really needed to unwind. Feel free to come over again anytime. And good movie, by the way. It had me completely fooled. Sure enough, the movie did have a twist. But it didn't happen how or when I would have expected. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm scared. Oh no! What if there's a twist in this mod? I don't want it! I wanted a Happy Natsuki mod! That's what I was looking for. Have a nice night, you two. Bye, Yuri! Bye, Yuri. Have a safe walk home. Thank you, Ben. Good night. I don't know what to do with it. Good night. The next day, the literature club is still filled with a tense silence. Everyone else is there when I enter, but nobody's talking. They aren't even looking at one another. So and I share a glance when I walk in. I want to say something to reassure her, but you could hear a pin drop in the silence. Everyone else would hear what I said, and that would just make it more uncomfortable. In the end, I give her what I hope is a reassuring smile and sit down. She returns the smile, then gets up. She walks over to Monica, who doesn't acknowledge her in any way. Hey, Monica? For a moment, it seems like Monica isn't going to answer. After a few seconds, though, she turns her head to face Sayori. Yes? It's been a week since we were supposed to show everyone that project. Don't you think it's about time we did that? Project? Oh, right. That. Yeah, you can go ahead if you want. Well, it was kind of your idea. Shouldn't you be the one to, announce it? No, I don't think that's a good idea. Actually, it's probably best if you take over for a while. That's not true! We need you, Monica! I know you're really sad about Natsuki leaving. We all are. But doesn't mean we should all just give up. This club, it's important. It's important to all of us. It's important to Natsuki too. So please, don't go giving up on it. Monica sighs wearily. I'm not giving up on it, Sayori. I'm not so sure I'm the best choice for president anymore. The way things went with Natsuki, that was her big goodbye. Our last day together, and I ruined it. Now she probably hates me. She doesn't hate you. I think she's scared. This is a really big risk she's taking, you know. But that was my whole point. She didn't have to do something so drastic. She could have just waited. Oh, I'm sorry, Sayori. Now I'm yelling at you. This is why it's better if you take over. After all, you're like a million times better than me. Sam moves over to Monica and hugs her. Sayori, you don't have to. Yes, I do. Of the times you've been there for me, I can share a little hug energy when you need it. Monica closes her eyes and leans closer to Sayori. I just feel so awful. She speaks. Monica begins to choke up. Sam feels incredibly uncomfortable, realizing this is the first time I've seen Monica cry. But neither she nor Sayori seem to have any awareness of me and Yuri. I feel like this is all my fault. Like I ruined everything. And like I let my friend down when she needed me the most. But that's not what happened. None of us think that. But Monica, none of us blame you for what happened. Even if we did, that wouldn't change how we see you. That was a bad day for all of us. But it's in the past now. And we really need our president back. Monica quietly sobs for a few seconds. Eventually she takes a deep breath, then steps away from Sayori and begins to wipe her eyes. This really sucks. Monica lets out a bitter laugh. Do you actually feel like this every day? I don't know how you're feeling right now, but probably. Like I said, some days are worse than others. How do you do it? Sayori smiles warmly at Monica. It helps to have good friends. Do you feel any better now? Actually, I think I do. I told you! Hug energy is like magic! But you need to be aware that the other person is fine with hug energy. I guess it kind of is. Monica finally turns to address me and Yuri. It's kind of nice that it also kind of like started with like, you're a million times better than me, like how it started with trust as well. As well as how it pointed out that it's like the first time we've seen Monica cry. She never had like a crying sprite, which Yuri doesn't either, but Yuri had like a crying CG. Monica like never had any opportunity to show us like that she's crying. I kind of always interpret it happening during like at the end of Act 3 when she has been deleted. But like that's also just an interpretation. As far as we know, she never got a chance to cry throughout the entire game. So, she's ready to be no, she's not ready to be addressed, she's ready to address. Okay, everyone. I'm sorry to see all that. In fact, I'm sorry for a lot of things. I know I haven't been the best club president this past week, and I really should have tried harder for all your sakes. But that's all over now. The Leadership Club is officially back open for business. Yay! Oh, your apologies appreciated, but not necessary. Shall we can all sympathize with your situation, Monica. Yeah, it's just good to have you back. You always be our president. Thanks, everyone. And I promise we'll get the new chapter of our club going in no time. Do you want me to show everyone our project now? Actually, not just yet. I'd like to put that one on the back burner for just a couple more days. I've got something else I'd like to do first. Another secret project? How come you didn't tell me about it? Because I just came up with it now. But I promise you'll all like it. At least I really hope you will. I'm sure it will be wonderful, Monica. I can't wait to see what these two surprises are. You can find out on Wednesday. Sayori, can you have everything ready by then? Sayori snaps an enthusiastic salute. I won't let you down, Miss President. Alright, Alright then. In that case, I think it has been a successful, if short, meeting. Club dismissed! On our walk home, Sayori is fairly skipping down the street. In contrast, my mind is preoccupied by the events of the day. I shuffle along slowly until eventually Sayori stops in front of me.
Hey Ben, are you alright? You seem quiet.
I was looking forward to this question, but I knew it was coming. Sayori's always been able to read me like a book. I was just thinking about our meeting today, and some of the stuff Monica said.
Oh.
Sayori smiled falters for a moment. Then it returns, not quite as lively as before.
What stuff?
Well, to give that a hug and helped cheer her up. And then she asked if that's how you felt every day. I smiled anxiously, not really sure I want the answer, but I can't bring myself to let it go.
Is it?
Like, every single day? When I came to your house that day, you said something about the only time you didn't feel nothing was when you felt pain. Did you really mean that?
I was kind of afraid you'd ask me this. But, yes, every day. Like I told Monica, some days are worse than others. But it's always there. It doesn't ever stop. Even on a good day, the rain clouds are never far away. And as for that other thing, about not feeling anything but pain, that's complicated. I did mean it at the time, but it's not completely true. Sometimes it feels that way, though. Sometimes I'll go for days without feeling anything but hurt. Sometimes weeks. But that was a really bad day for me, Ben. Actually, I haven't felt that bad since then. Most days, I can still feel something. But
Sayori pauses, searching for the right words. When she finds them, she turns back to me.
Most days, it's kind of like spraying air freshener over a bad smell. The bad smell doesn't actually go away. It's just covered up with something else. Even the good smell isn't actually that good. It's just better than what's underneath. And then, eventually, the air freshener wears off. And you're left back where you started. That's what it's like when I'm with my friends. I love them, and they make me really happy. But most of the time, that happiness is only skin deep. Flat myself can still feel my heart ache even when I'm laughing with them. And then, the moment they're gone,
Sayori's voice trails off.
But I have good days too. Sometimes I can really be happy. Like today! I'm really happy Monica's finally back to her normal self.
That's good. I find it hard to be too enthusiastic. I really am glad Sayori feels okay today, but I hate how rare it is. I hate that she can't even be happy with her best friends most of the time. It makes me sick just thinking about it. When she first told me about her depression, I promised myself I'd do whatever it takes to help her. And months later, I haven't been able to do a single thing to make her better. I've tried being supportive as a friend, but with my relationship with Natsuki and Sayori's feelings for me, that's been really hard. And I'm only just starting to understand the way Sayori really feels.
Hey, it's okay, Ben. You don't have to worry about me. I'll be okay.
I mentally berate myself for my reaction. Sayori hates it when I get upset over her. All I'm doing is making her condition worse. Pull yourself together, Ben.
Actually, I think I'm getting a bit better. Maybe. Feels like that bad days are a little less common. And the good days happen just a little bit more.
Good. That really is good. I'm relieved by Sayori's optimism, small as it may be. I've learned that Sayori is willing to hide things from me, downplay her feelings, or avoid questions. But she always stops short of lying to my face. If she says she thinks she's getting better, even by the tiniest amount, that's a huge weight off my shoulders. Still though, there is one thing I could try that might help. Sayori? I know we've talked about this before and you weren't comfortable with it, but I really think you should talk to a psychiatrist or something.
Ben,
just hear me out, alright? Look, ever since you told me about these feelings, I've been trying my best to understand. I've spent hours online researching depression, what it feels like, ways to help. The biggest thing that keeps coming up is getting professional help. I really care about you, Sayori. I want you to be happy and I really think this could help. I know you aren't sure about this, but could you at least give it a try? For me, if nothing else? so it doesn't move us anything for what feels like an hour. Eventually, though, she speaks up.
You really make things difficult for me sometimes. You know what? You know that?
That's my job. Is that a yes?
Well, think about it.
I guess that's all I can ask for. Hey, why don't I come over for a few hours and hang out? We can finish that game tonight. Natsuki's out until this evening, so she won't miss me. And I don't really want to leave Sayori like this.
Sorry, I can't. I've got to wrap things up for Wednesday. And apparently, I have a big decision to make.
Alright. Stand there awkwardly for a moment, not really sure what to do. Well, good night then.
Good night.
Well, it was a recommendation. It's not like he tried That's the problem, he kind of did try forcing it. He should have left it at, can you consider it for me? Something along those lines. But no, give it a try. For me, not for you. That was the worst part of it. I felt a bit like it might be bad. Like I might feel uncomfortable with it, but it was going well. It was like I looked it up and it keeps coming up, and so it's like I care about you and maybe this could help. Could you consider it one more time? Think about it once more, because like she felt uncomfortable before and she could think about it one more time and then decide on it. It makes sense for him. Because he already struggled with like his word choice. And because this too is like for me, if nothing else. It should absolutely not be for someone else. That's how you end up going to someone. They're not helping at all, but you feel like you need to be there for that person. And so it's even worse. Because it's not anymore just of a situation like, oh, it's not helping. Like there's this whole thing of like, you need to wait to keep doing it for months and whatnot. Before it shows effects. That's already pressure enough. And then if you end up disappointed, they'll just tell you to look for another one. And by all means that you can keep looking, you should be doing something on the side. And if that on the side helps, then you should go with that. The thing is with the for me, if not for you, it's like, now you feel that pressure that maybe you don't even more so. It's not anymore of a thing of like, I'm trying to look for things that make me feel better. It's all of a sudden of a thing of like, I'm doing the things that this other person thinks is the best for me. I'm glad that it's probably going to end on a like, she's going to consider and it's going to make her decision, because it should be that. And there's nothing wrong with her thinking about it and then deciding she wants to try it. Nothing wrong with trying it. Good if it works. Just, it's still my personal experiences. Still holding me back from being like, really thinking that this is like always the best thing to do. Like, trying it and everything, it's all right. Like I said, and I've considered. I've been to therapy. That's why I'm not so optimistic about it. But I've also recommended maybe like thinking about trying it beforehand. Like, do you want to maybe talk to a professional? And they were like, no, and I was like, okay, because it's their decision. And they shouldn't be doing it for anyone but themselves. And of course that's difficult because this person doesn't like themselves. They don't care about themselves. They feel like they maybe deserve what they're going through. So maybe you want to give that push, but you shouldn't be pushing a specific thing. You should be pushing them to try and get better. And then they should be checking what they want to try to see if what makes them feel better. You should be encouraging them to seek out things that will help them. You can recommend, of course, professionals. Because I've heard from people that it works. Nobody in my personal surroundings, only from the internet, which is probably one of the main reasons why I'm struggling a bit more with it. Because I am impacted a lot by things I personally know, and if all I know personally is, oh my god, that sucked, and only online hear from it, I'm kind of more lenient to being like more negative about it. But there is nothing wrong with recommending it. It's just the thing with recommending it is you say, I think it could help. Do you want to try it? Can you consider it? Not go and try it. It's like I said, that person themselves needs to see what they want to try to get better. And you're not in a position to be like, you should try this to get better, because I know better than you what makes you get better. You should be just encouraging that person to try and find something that helps them get better. Whatever their decision will be, as long as this isn't harmful or anything, as long as it's really helping them, it shouldn't matter what it is. And if they decide they don't want to try therapy, then okay. Nothing wrong with trying it, it's just... the mod isn't even doing it, so I shouldn't talk about it. It's just, once again, always try to really recommend it, not try forcing it as like the only opportunity. Although I do think it was I tried to think of it positively now. Try to think positively. He was kind of giving like the opportunity of like psychiatrists and otherwise professionals as well. Maybe various those are like already like a therapist and a psychiatrist already pretty different in how they operate. So I will try to give it credit for that, because it's always just when it comes up, I always just get so like, make sure that it's understandable that it will always be their decision, and if they don't end up going for it, that they still have other options, that it's never the only option, and that it's never the only way to get better. Well, that's basically the same way. It's just that it never means that they aren't trying if they aren't going. And that you'll support them whatever they do end up deciding. To try and find something that does work for them. If they want to try going with it and it works for them, then that's good. If it doesn't work the first time, they go a few more until they find something that works. That's fine. If they go the first time and then decide they go for a few more, and then they say, you know what, I have not found it yet, I'm going to try a different type of therapy, or I'm going to try something completely different, also good. Or it's the first time and they're like, I currently don't want to try again, I want to try something else for now, also good. All of it good. The beginning was okay, like I said. And the way that is phrased, it does make sense for the MC to phrase it that way. Because even if he's done his research, I'm giving a credit that his word choice is not going to be perfect. I don't think anyone's word choice can always be perfect 100% at a time. I spent the next few hours at home, mostly watching anime. It's not as engaging as it used to be, though. I've got this constant nagging feeling that there's something else I should be doing. Of course I know what that is, but I'm really not feeling up to it right now. Deciding what to do after high school. I've got too much on my plate right now to worry about that. Still, I've got too much restless energy to sit on the couch and watch anime all night. I shoot Natsuki text asking when she'll be home. A couple minutes later, she lets me know it'll probably be about an hour. That news, I head over to the kitchen. For all the work Natsuki's been putting in, she'd probably appreciate a homemade dinner when she gets home. Fortunately, since I'll be the one cooking it, she'll have to settle for a mediocre homemade dinner. Try to become a home husband! Be a stay-at-home partner! That doesn't work for most people. As in, also money-wise. But if Natsuki's bakery gets so awesome, maybe. Well, I guess it's not actually that bad. I've been learning how to cook for a few months now, and I've definitely improved. As long as I stick to something pretty simple, it should turn out alright. Then taking stock of the ingredients we still have and consulting the internet, I decide on a simple chicken dinner. Dinner. It's nothing fancy, but it'll work with the spices I have on hand. When I'm about 10 minutes from being done, I hear the sound of the door opening. Hey, I'm home! Welcome home! How was it? Do you think it'll work out? Natsuki's been out all day looking for a possible location for a bakery. She's checked out a handful already, but none of them met her standards. Well, except for one, but it was way outside our budget. Yeah, that's going to be a problem, but I have hope. It was amazing! Huge windows with tons of natural light, plenty of room for tables, a fully furnished kitchen, the works! And it's within our price range too! Natsuki stops and sniffs the air for a second. Hey, what's cooking? Dinner. I'll be ready in a few minutes. We're having chicken. It smells great. Thanks, Ben. I wave absently. It's nothing too special. Tell me more about this place, though. Where is it? Actually, I was hoping you could come take a look at it with me in a couple days. I thought you already saw it. Isn't that why you were out all day? Well, yeah, I just wanted your thoughts. I mean, we're kind of in this together, right? Yeah. Maybe not all high school romances last, but I've seen some that last, and you know what? I am supporting you. You will marry and have children and run a bakery in the meantime. You should have a say. I can't imagine what could possibly contribute to this decision. I don't know anything about business or construction, and everything I know about baking I learned from Natsuki. Still though, for some reason it seems important to her that I'm there. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. How about after school tomorrow? Yeah, that sounds good. Just then there's a sharp ding from the oven. Ding! Ah, sounds like dinner's ready. Do you want to set the table while I pull everything out? Yeah, okay. Natsuki and I sit across from one another, ready to eat. Something's... She seems to be hesitating, her hand gently trembling as she goes to take a bite. Hey, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong. It's just... coming home to a home-cooked meal. Talking about my day, like we're a normal family. It's bringing up a lot of old stuff. Oh, this is stupid! Should be over all that! Why am I getting all choked up over some food? Sorry, I didn't realize. We can go out again if that makes it easier. No! It's nice. I like it. It's complicated. Natsuki steadies herself and takes a bite. You're starting to get pretty good at this, you know? I think I could get used to this. Being with you. Not really sure what to say, and not wanting to spoil the mood, I just nod. Read the rest of the meal in silence. Natsuki keeps glancing up at me as she eats, then turning back to her plate. When we're done, we wordlessly move to the living room and sit on the couch. Natsuki seems deep in thought. I desperately want to know what's going on in her head, but I don't want to press her. Finally, she turns to me. Ben, am I making a mistake? What if Monika's right? If this doesn't work out, I won't have anything. No money, no job, no diploma. I'm scared, Ben. I'm really, really scared. I know you are. Look, I'm scared too. I've been terrified for months now. I don't think I've had a single really calm day since you told me about, But I don't think this is a mistake. Monika's smart and all, but she doesn't know everything. You're a great baker. Once people try your stuff, they'll come knocking down your door to get more. You'll have to fight them off with a baguette or something. Natsuki sniffs and what might have been a laugh. Yay. Laugh while crying is a bit weird. A baguette would be a terrible weapon. I just rolling pin. Right, you'll fight them off with a rolling pin. But look, whatever happens, if it turns out this whole city is just filled with idiots who don't know when something amazing comes along, even if this doesn't work out, you won't have nothing. I won't leave you, no matter what. If that means I have to work 2 jobs while you get back to school or whatever, that's what I'll do. I love you, Natsuki. I'll do whatever it takes to be with you. I love you too, Ben! And somehow that's the scariest thing of all. But if that's true, if you really won't leave, then that's all I need. I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you! Natsuki pressed her face into my chest, getting my shirt wet with her tears. I love you, I love you, I love you! I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you! Her words blend together past the point of comprehension. The words mix with the sobs to form something that's barely recognizable as speech. I wrapped my arms around her, instinctively trying to shelter her from some invisible assailant. After a few moments, the words stop entirely. Natsuki shifts upwards and presses her lips against mine in a desperate kiss. I taste the salt of her tears, of her lips, with something sweet and enticing beneath. Sobbing, or possibly panting now, feels hot against my face. As I lay there holding her, thought jumps unbidden to my mind. Deep down, I know that right now Natsuki would do anything I asked. Some primal part of me is aroused by that, but an equally large part is terrified. Not like this, Ben. Not like this. Still have the willpower to get out of this. But it's fading fast. Frantically, I push Natsuki away from me and roll off the couch. My shoulder aches from hitting the floor, but I get up anyway. Ben? Natsuki looks hurt. I want to explain, but I also know that I am very close to changing my mind. I'll see you in the morning, Natsuki. Bye! Sprinting upstairs, I dash into my bedroom and slam the door behind me. Dark thoughts like that can occur out of nowhere. They're nothing to be blamed for as long as you don't act upon them. And given the fact that of this idea of power, and also the idea of giving a person that you trust power to do whatever they want with you, is not uncommon, like what arouses people and what they desire to have kind of during sexual contact either. So I don't really blame him for having this random sudden thought either. Like, there's a reason why, like, dark romance is popular, especially with also, like, women. Even though a lot of these dark romances have, like, relationships that are bordering on abusive or actually in a real-life setting would be abusive. Because there's also kind of this something enticing about someone else being in control. There could be various reasons for it. It could just also be that the trust of giving someone that control can turn you on. And I don't think there's anything wrong with, not inherently wrong with a thought like that occurring. And all of that. Like, those things, they can happen. There is... As long as you don't act upon them, it says nothing about you. And he decided to kind of, like, throw himself off, so clearly he really didn't want to act upon it. It was probably just a random thought. And since control, kind of a level of control can be arousing also to, like, other parties, it makes sense that maybe he is one of them. But he still had, like, the realization that this is not what he wanted. He didn't want to feel like he was taking advantage of her, and just generally the situation would have been weird for first time. And he realized that and he decided against it, so... I really think he should address that to Natsuki, though. Next morning, I decide to make breakfast for us again. Natsuki seemed to appreciate the dinner, so I'm hoping this will diffuse any lingering tension. When I hear her coming down the stairs, I stiffen involuntarily. Hey, Hey, I made eggs. You want some? Yeah, thanks. They're unbearably thick. Nels grabs a plate and sits down, not looking at me. Hey, so listen. About last night. It's fine. I just got carried away. We never really talked about that kind of thing, so it was my fault for assuming you'd want to. You know. No, it's not that I don't want to. Look, I like you a lot, and you're really pretty. Really pretty? That's what you're going with? Look, it's fine. I'm happy with our relationship as it is, if you are. Just don't lie to me about it, okay? I'm not lying. I do like you like that. Natsuki spins around towards me. Will you just drop it? I might not be very experienced, but even I know guys don't usually run away screaming when pretty girls make a move on them. It wasn't like that. Look, you were crying and you seemed really, I don't know, vulnerable. I didn't want our first time together to be something you regretted later. It just didn't feel right. Natsuki looks down at the table. Consider saying more, but don't want to press my luck. I guess it would have been kind of crappy of you. I can see why you wouldn't be okay with that. But did you have to freak out like that? That really hurt, Ben. I ran away because I was worried I changed my mind. Getting out of there. It was hard. I paused, caught off guard by my own double entendre. Oh, right. Yeah, the reaction wasn't exactly good. It really should have been talked about. I mean, he could have addressed it, like, immediately in that moment. That she seems vulnerable. But, like, once again, they're teenagers. Just with how I felt like he didn't handle it with the word choice and everything necessarily that well for Sayori. It's like, he's an awkward teenage boy who, up to recently, rarely had much social contact. A situation like this is not something he will know how to handle. And Natsuki is, like, also, like, just how she also didn't handle it the best with Monica. She, like, expressed her feelings barely to Monica. She, like, kind of freaked out and didn't wait for a response to see if that was really what was going on. But that's because she was also, like, genuinely hurt. And given the situation she's in with, like, her home life and everything, and all she's already been through and her insecurities, it made sense that she would not react appropriately to it. It's bound to happen. You cannot always respond appropriately to something. It also depends, like, what does it mean to react appropriately to something? From an outside perspective, for me, it makes sense for me to say, hey, it was an appropriate reaction. But if he really felt like that he might just end up going with it, what are the chances that it might have been the appropriate reaction given the situation that he felt himself in? So I do think, I also do want to say something. I think it's a good enough moment to quickly switch it, put in a break here. But even I know guys don't usually run away screaming when pretty girls make a move on them. Don't you worry. I have met guys like that. Because you don't know what anyone has ever really been through. So, if you make a move on a guy and they run away, chances are they might not necessarily be doing it because they don't think you're pretty or something. Generally, they could also, once again, just like DMC, just that there was something extra to it, be an awkward guy or something, or they have had some weird experiences or something. There could be many reasons for why the person responds like that. That's why communication is important. You will never fully understand something unless they explain it to you. And even then, chances are you'll never be able to fully understand it. Comprehend it, that's probably what I wanted to say. I mean, not that it was hard, but, well, I guess it was hard too, but that's not what I meant. Yeah, I get the picture. Thanks. Moving on! Right. Somehow things aren't getting less awkward. Anyway, just wasn't sure I could say no if I hung around much longer. You know what I mean? Yeah, I understand. And I guess I should say thanks.
Like you said, I wasn't really in the best frame of mind last night. So, looking back, I'm glad you didn't. You know, take advantage of the situation. I always figured I'd wait until after high school anyway. I mean, technically it is after high school for you. You know what I mean! Yeah, I guess. I paused, the meaning of her words just now hitting me. Wait, are you saying you've never— EW! No, of course not! Why? Have you? No! Come on, before I joined the club, the only girl who would give me the time of day was Sayori. And we certainly never did anything like that. I just figured you were the type who would have— I cut myself off, realizing way too late that there is no good way to end that sentence. Who would have what? Well, it's just— I've seen some of the manga you moved in here. You what? Don't go looking at my stuff without permission! I'm sorry, it just fell out. Look, not that it's any of your business, but there's a big difference between reading something and doing it. That's true. Never, like, for example, I can really enjoy, like, awful characters. I am also writing a book out of the perspective of someone bad, but mostly read books out of the perspective of bad people. Doesn't mean I want to do anything that they do. Have you seen the guys at our school? I won't let them touch me with a 10-foot pole. Not that they want to anyway. Natsuki trails off. Didn't take me long to realize that Natsuki's insecure about her body. Of course, as far as I'm concerned, she has no reason to be. But I can understand why she would be, especially compared to someone like Yuri or Monica. Honestly, I must say, well, I think my favorite design has to be Monica. That's probably just because I like green eyes and long hair. When it comes to what I find attractive, I know nobody asked, but honestly I think... Well, it's very petite, but honestly, like, also, generally speaking, I think I prefer people that are more slim. As in, like, not a big chest, not necessarily a big butt either. I don't know why. I think when I was considering that I was also attracted to women, I think back then I also liked big boobs. Big boobs, big ass. But I don't know if I was just kind of believing that because I was figuring out that I like women and I decided, oh, that means I must like big boobs and big ass. But like, no. Small boobs are also precious. Maybe even more so. But ultimately, I don't really know what I find appealing. But I must say, I honestly think Natsuki's is also one of the more realistic body types. Like, she does look very slim, and of course the head honestly kind of looks like very big compared to the body, although that can happen when you're genuinely malnourished. Or I'm pretty sure it can maybe happen with other body types too. But like, with like loose-fitting clothes, a lot of it like looks a bit more like this versus someone like Monica or Yuri. I'm sorry, Natsuki. For what it's worth, I really am, attracted to you. Because you are attracted. Thanks. And same goes for me. Can we change the subject now? Natsuki grabs her hands on the towel and opens her laptop. Right, I've got to eat anyway. But Natsuki? Yeah? I love you. I love you too. That still feels weird to say. I know what you mean. Feels really different to Ben! Natsuki's laptop just finishes booting up when she screams my name and jumps back up. What is it? What's wrong? I got an order! Someone ordered something off the website! I went over and look at the screen. No way, already? What do they want? This is so awesome! Okay, let me check it out. Let's begin scrolling through the order details. Alright. Well, looks like a pretty big order. Could be like one of the girls. Like Yuri already knows of the website, right? I would want to be one of the first orders on a website one of my friends makes. I want to be the first! It will turn to a battle between us friends. Who can get the first? Who can get the first order? It's for delivery. They want some custom cupcakes, cookies, a bunch of stuff. And it's for tomorrow afternoon. Can you even have it done by then? I'll have to get up early, but yeah, I think so. But I need you to make sure I don't stay up late tonight. Okay? You got it. And I'd better get some shopping done to make sure I have everything. Do you mind if I head out? No, I've got to get to school anyway. See you this afternoon? Yep! I'll text you the address during lunch. Seems like she doesn't recognize the address, so probably not Yuri.